You watching this video right now are probably making one of, if not multiple of the mistakes we're going to cover today, and they are really hurting your chances of growing your stream. And worse, if we don't talk about them and correct them, you may never grow a large audience, or you will grow somewhat of an audience and then you're going to lose them. Let's go. Hey, I'm Eljay with StreamScheme.com. I'm also a variety streamer over at twitch.tv/LJM_. There are links to both of those in the description if you want to check out the website or me while I'm live. Straight away, I want to let you guys know about a massive charity event that's going to be happening on my live stream at the end of this month. We have $2,000 worth of streamer gear we're going to be giving away live on stream, all in the name of charity. So if you want to, feel free to click the link in the description to my Twitch as well as to Twitter, and you'll be able to see all of the information there. And speaking of awesome things you don't want to miss out on, I have to tell you guys about the sponsor of today's video. That's right, Own.tv, the absolute legends. They support this channel a lot, guys, so if you don't know about them yet, they are your one-stop shop for all things streaming related. They have full stream packages that are completely modular, which means you can turn off, turn on, delete sources, do whatever you want to them. They have static versions, so if your computer is not top of the line, they will still work, as well as the full animated ones if you're looking for something fancier. I really cannot stress enough how fantastic these guys are. They've got everything you need, so go check them out. As I said, guys, Own support the channel a lot, so if you want to support us, go support them by clicking the link in the description. Massive thank you to them again. Also in the description are the time codes, so if you want to, you can skip ahead to any section of this video you want, including the end, where you can just pretend you watched it. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. So 2 months ago, I set myself the goal that I wanted to work one-on-one with you guys more often. So I jumped into the Stream Scheme Discord and I started working one-on-one and helping people out because I wanted to see what problems you guys were facing so I could make videos covering those topics. Now, of course, there are the topics such as microphones and webcams and all those things that I've been creating content for that. However, there are 7 mindsets that I'm constantly having to talk about or bring up in the Discord or just on Twitter that I feel like if we don't talk about, it's going to cause a lot of you guys to just never grow your stream. And the really worrying thing is I'm actually seeing some of you guys who are fantastic content creators grow to 20 average viewers, make one of these mindset mistakes, and then tank back down to 5 or 10 average. And don't worry, it isn't just you making them. I made them as well. And if you correct them, you'll be fine. So let's get into the first one. A lot of people feel like they deserve viewers, especially after they've gotten to 5 or 10 average. They feel like they deserve to always be at that average. But the reality is this mindset is going to ruin your stream's growth and also just generally make streaming incredibly difficult. You have to carefully think about the value you're providing to a viewer and why they should watch you instead of the other hundreds of thousands of other content creators on Twitch, YouTube, and the internet in general. So what is your value? Are you incredibly entertaining? Do you click heads like a Fortnite pro? Are you incredibly personable and conversationable? Do you own a hot tub? Seriously, think about what value you're providing. Maybe you're a fantastic artist or you're incredibly knowledgeable on a topic and able to educate people who are passionate on the same topic. When I said what value are you providing, if you didn't instantly know what type of value your content was providing, you need to sit down and think hard about what you're going to provide to your viewers. I'm going to cover this properly in another tip later in this video, but you can't just do the bare minimum anymore. You can't just go live and play games and expect to grow on Twitch. It is too difficult. So as always, what is my actionable tip? Well, I want you to sit down with a pen and paper and I want you to come up with what value you are going to provide to people, what you can do differently, and generally what you're going to do to stand out from the crowd. Because I know you have something unique, a personal skill that you can do to stand out. There is definitely something inside you that will allow you to grow as a content creator. You got this. Okay, so I was going to save this tip for the very end. However, I feel like most of you need to hear this before you click off the video. Can we stop calling out lurkers? Can we stop acting like people just wanting to watch your content and not engage is a bad thing? A streamer is an entertainer or a performer. Now imagine you're at a crowd at the circus and suddenly clowns start coming down off the stage and trying to drag you into the performance even though you've already said no. And they're like, Eljay, come onto the stage. And your family's looking at you like, Eljay, get on the stage. And they're all pushing you and you don't want to get on the stage, but they're forcing you. Lurkers don't like it, and neither did I. Those damn clowns at Cirque du Soleil. I ran polls, I talked to you guys on Twitter, and I even talked to you guys directly in Twitch chat about this, and it's really worrying how many creators honestly believe that it's good etiquette and expected to talk in a small streamer's chat because it makes the small streamer happy. Maybe I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but here's the kicker. It isn't your viewer's job to make you happy. It is your job to entertain them. And when I spoke directly to viewers who only watch and don't stream, They told me if someone tries to force them or calls them out and says, hey lurkers, why aren't you chatting? They leave. So yeah, stop calling out lurkers. There are really positive and appropriate ways if you're trying to engage your chat. And if you want to, I can make a whole video just covering that topic, bringing together all of my tips that I've covered across multiple videos. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. The final takeaways for this is that lurkers are the backbone of Twitch. And yes, people speaking in your chat will make it easier for you to make content, but it isn't their responsibility to be active. In fact, it's your responsibility to create an environment that is engaging enough for them to want to be active in it. The actionable tip for this one is that if you're trying to create an environment where people are naturally speaking, then you need to create natural call to actions or opportunities that'll make them want to engage. For example, I like to use the !QOTD or question of the day command. It's very, very organic. They don't have to use it, but if it comes up, often people will join in for it. I have a few other ways as well. Again, just let me know in the comments if you need a video on all of them. Next up, I've talked about overconfidence on this channel being a terrible habit a lot. And I've talked about how people have this idea in their head that if they just got a raid, they'd be able to start growing easily. And I don't want to talk about any of that stuff anymore. But I do need to talk about a different type of confidence and a different mistake a lot of you guys are making with your confidence. And I need to apologize to you guys because I know I can be incredibly harsh. I tell you guys what you're doing wrong constantly. But when I do, I try and give you guys an actionable tip or actionable step that you can go away and instantly improve or fix the thing that's causing you to struggle. But that said, if you're constantly hearing the things you're doing wrong, it's very easy to lose your confidence. And the strangest thing about this industry is that the only thing worse than being intensely overconfident is having no confidence at all. In order to be successful in this industry, you need to honestly believe that what you are creating is worth watching. If you don't believe that, nobody else will. Or worse, if you don't have that little voice inside your head saying you can do this, you're worth watching, then you'll never take the first step to start creating. You won't even click go live. And I see dozens of people saying every single day that the idea of clicking go live stresses them out and freaks them out and it's not fun for them anymore. And that sucks. You need to believe in yourself. You need to have that confidence so you can actually click go live. As I always say, it takes time, hard work, and a bit of luck if you're looking to grow in this industry. But even worse and harder is that it's not a straight line for growth. You're going to stagnate. You're going to fall backwards. You're going to struggle. And that is part of the journey. You need to make sure you always look at where you started and where you are now, rather than just seeing the failures. Look at how much you've improved and smash it. I have a few more tips and a few major things you need to avoid coming up in this video, including one where I see people make this mistake and then they instantly lose half their viewers. And my final mistake that causes people to honestly just waste so much of their time when they could be growing. But first, I want to throw it out there. If you guys are looking to meet other content creators, meet other streamers going through the same growth you are, who can answer your questions, who you can talk about ideas with, maybe even stream with, then feel free to join the Stream Scheme Discord. It is linked in the description down below. You can also, in that Discord, feel free to download all of our free overlays. We've got more coming out soon. So feel free to subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see when those are released, because we post the trailer here on YouTube before anywhere else. And then you can download them from the Discord, which you'll already be in. Awesome. Okay, let's talk about priorities, because honestly, I don't know who is telling you guys that you need to focus on some of the things you guys are focusing on, but it is so strange to me. Why are you spending so much time on your logos and your offline screens and all these things that won't help you grow? People join the Stream Scheme Discord and they post their homemade logos or their homemade offline screen, and they come back day after day asking for feedback and advice to make it look better. But then I click on their stream and I watch it and their microphone still sounds like the two-way walkie-talkies I had when I was a kid, after I put them in the microwave for 5 minutes. The problem is, neither of these things are going to help you grow. A really cool, good logo doesn't make someone follow. But I'll tell you what, if you don't have any graphic design and you make a bad logo and someone sees it, they're probably going to think that's unprofessional. You're much better off just having a profile picture, or honestly having a little character or one of your emotes there. It's so much more personable to have something that relates to you rather than a logo as well. And then the offline screen is really, really interesting as well, because most of you don't have external funnels. Most of you don't have a YouTube channel that's sending people to your stream while you're offline, or a TikTok or anything like that. But then even stranger is that no one sees your offline screen. When they go to your channel these days, they see your previous VODs, your recent broadcasts, maybe your clips, but most importantly, they see your channel trailer, which almost none of you have. And before a single one of you calls me out, I know I don't have a channel trailer. It almost got DMCA'd, so I had to delete it. The actionable tip here is to ask yourself, Will the thing that I'm doing right now actually help me grow and make better content across these platforms? I have said it before and I'll say it 1,000 times. Content is king, and your logo is not part of your content. Speaking of content, let's add a few of the tips from this video together and talk about what makes your content better and what makes it worse. Because if we figure out what adds and subtracts from your content, it means we'll be able to figure out what your audience likes and how to grow your average viewers. To do this, the first thing you need to think about is who is your ideal audience or key demographic. I've talked about this a few times on the channel. When I started streaming, my key demographic was 20-year-olds and older who were looking to relax, chill, and have a laugh after work and that kind of situation. So every decision I made reflected that key demographic. I set my text-to-speech to be 100 bits. I didn't have any jarring sound alerts. I made sure that I was playing lo-fi music. The games I was playing were relaxing. The chat and the overall feel of it wasn't immature. Everything was focused quite heavily to appeal to them. Even my channel points were designed to add to the chat rather than distract or take us away from the content we were doing. When I want to change anything in my stream, my overlay, my alerts, even my underwear, I think about how it's going to affect my community, how it's going to affect my audience. The example you probably are facing right now is you're wondering how you can switch between games without losing your following. Well, first you have to think about your followers and when and where they followed you and what their content they followed for was. If they followed you because they really liked watching you play some really relaxing, slow gameplay, then they're not going to want to switch over and watch you play Titanfall 2 or Warzone or any of those things. It's very unlikely. So the actionable tip here is to sit down and think about what is adding and distracting from your content. What is your focus? If you're playing long story-driven games with a lot of dialogue and cutscenes, do you really want air horns playing for 50 bits every 15 seconds? No, turn those off, get rid of the distractions, focus on the good content, the content that is fit for you and your audience. Okay, are you ready for the most important tip of this entire video, the most important mindset you need to break away from? The one that I see commented on every single video on this channel. You aren't the exception to the rule. Well, actually, you might be, I don't know, but you shouldn't make your decisions based on being the exception. Every single video I make, there is always that one commenter who says something like, lol, shit video, or why would I follow these tips? Have you never watched insert giant streamer's name here? He doesn't do any of this. Except every large streamer they reference has always been creating content for 5+ years, or even 10+ years, and they have a huge back catalog of content, and they've been growing with the platform. Or they grew with a huge YouTube channel with a fantastically unique content on it, or they know one of these other large streamers and they're able to collaborate and network and do something fantastic. I have not seen a single person reference a larger content creator and give me a good reason for why they should follow along with what that person is doing. If you look at large creators and just follow what they're doing now, and you don't look at them across the last 5 years of whatever they've been doing, then you're going to set yourself up to fail. You and me who are starting our journey now have to do everything in our power to stand out from the pack. It is so much more oversaturated than it was even just a year ago. This means having a high quality webcam so people can see your face in the thumbnail, a funny title that makes people want to click on you, more content being shared across multiple platforms. You need to go above and beyond what anyone else does as a small streamer. The actionable tip here is to understand that YouTube and Twitch are not fair. It isn't everyone being created equally. You have to work so much harder than the big guys do if you want to be discovered, if you want viewers. If you think you can just do whatever the biggest streamers do, have fun and hope for the best, well then you're really setting yourself up to struggle. But if you're sat there and thinking, I want to make this my career, then you really need to go above and beyond like we've talked about on this video. You need to be smart, you need to be tactical, and you need to make good, discoverable content because content is king. And you guys are constantly complimenting my content, but I'll be honest with you. What I create is never going to get me higher than the amount of viewers I have right now. This is probably my peak. And if I want to grow further than this, I really need to kick it into gear and go harder. And that's just me being honest with myself. But if any of today's video helped you out at all, consider checking out my other content. Maybe join that Discord I mentioned. And I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye.